Recording. Okay, so guess what? I got no oaths. I got no contract. I have no obligations. I'm free, you know. And I really am, and I've seen it for a while. And I paid for this kid in Thailand. Not sure how long I'll be able to keep paying for that kid. But I always think, like, man, I'd rather give him my freedom. I'd rather give him my car, and you do something with it, dude. I am really upset about the Nazi situation. Especially because people don't recognize what it really is. So everybody's getting duped. We have been killing Nazis in video games and movies and for like 100 years almost. Well, not 100, it can't be that, but we've been killing them for a long time in comic books, wherever. They're the universal bad guy. That's the worst of the worst. And so at the end of 2023, when they're marching around on my state capital and have since marched around on many state capitals, waving around their flag with a swastika, which they know is universally recognized as a symbol of hatred, it's the world's enemy, marching around with their flag. Do you know what the professor at the Jesuit university said? He said what the Nazis said. The Nazis were saying, we own this state. The professor at the Jesuit university, Marquette, said, maybe we shouldn't be so surprised. He said, too, they own this state. That son of a bitch. Okay, there's a lot of dickheads out there. And, you know, no one gave me any ground rules. I followed my own ground rules. Did I just say the J word for the first time? Fuck it. No, someone needs to contact me and talk to me about do's and don'ts or something like that, because as a real individual concerned citizen, that's where the discussion ends up. So we all know the narrative is fake. We all know this is a bullshit narrative. We know that the media narrative is not organic anymore, and it hasn't been. So when you have, before I get to that mother effer, we have this, it's why I started my channel, first of all, on Juneteenth, to talk about the in-group, out-group bias, knowing this entire time it's going to keep getting used, and if we can get hip to that fucking shit, then they can't really use it. We can cut off the narrative. And the only assholes who are going to see this video are the assholes who are determined to push us down this false narrative. If I honor my Trump, Musk, that son of a bitch, then the Democratic side too, all a bunch of bullshit, all in collusion, we know it, that's why they're just out now with it, we're an oligarchy. Well, I'm not trying to end up on the wrong side of the argument with the oligarchy. I would rather have a standard of privilege assured in my life, which God has done for me instead, you see. I kind of think I was pretty timid about calling out those sons of bitches in the first place. That sinister influence that Abraham Lincoln pointed out preferred a terrible civil war with people killing each other, thousands and thousands, I don't even know how many people. If we're killing each other, that's terrible. That's a lot for us. That's a lot of death on our soil. But in Britain, they bought the slaves and released them. Abraham Lincoln couldn't do that because of this sinister influence that is a terrorist organization and has plans for a Roman system. That's where we're going. They are going to use their in-group, out-group bias to set up their one world system, just like they use the in-group, out-group bias to turn black Americans into second-class citizens who were worked for free while the modern world stood up. And then, okay, now we can let them, now there's a cotton gin, sure, let them go get jobs, we'll pay them less, all right? And nothing on the books, pretty quickly, did the black man get his right to vote. So other than the color of skin, And probably the paycheck, and probably the beginning of the social situation for them. They're only going to know probably other slaves who they are or aren't related to, previous slaves. If you're emancipated right off the bat, you're going to know a bunch of other people who don't have financial or social advantage either. And those are the kind of people who cut each other down, the poor people. So we just decided that's going to just be black people in this country. Nothing on the book says that they're second class, so what does it? It's not a systemic issue, except the systemic issue can be justified by a cultural issue. Oh, the people feel this way, this is what the people want, and this is what is being run on us now. Nazis are about to be black and Indian and white and Mexican and everything. It's going to be the world system. And now the new N-word will just be the impoverished person. It'll be a case of the haves and the have-nots. And in such a situation, we justify that if you're a legit American citizen, a black man, you can come on my bus, I can call you boy, I can tell you to get to the back for the white lady, I can just talk to you still like your property, like we just inherited as a way in this country. This will go global. I've known it for a long time, and if you hone in on the way our biases are played, the availability bias is the other one that really pisses me off. Remember MySpace? Did I get into this before? You could actually answer questions about yourself. You could actually have a wallpaper. Now, Facebook just gives you things to pick from. Who do you want to promote out of the people we approve of? So Elon Musk doing his stupid ass, what he called a Roman salute, it's their one world Roman system. Oh, think everybody's a Nazi. Like, that's what his attitude was. You have all these people crying wolf about Nazis. Because you're a motherfucking Nazi, Elon Musk. Get the fuck out of my country. You're a great disappointment to anyone who believed in you. So are you, Donald Trump. So are you, any of you fuckers. Sorry. I just feel like I can't seem to get this to... I just don't want to be... I hate when a narrative just gets run on you, and it's not true. It's not reflecting the actual sentiments of the society. There are people claiming influence by it. Who's the guy I don't like? Andrew Schultz, who has a weak, inferior mustache. I just don't like him. He's a stupid asshole. I hate to say it, but, you know, once I realized that 50 Cent is just another stupid asshole, I realized I don't have any positive role models anymore once I lose 50 Cent. Meanwhile, I do like all these people, including all of our presidents. But I don't appreciate the false narrative, and I know that it's leading us toward communism because what's the move? Let's overcorrect. We're going to end up in fucking 1984. Which I haven't finished, and I've restarted twice. I tend to do that. But the best books, I will just start them over and be like, I want to get a deep read on this, you know? Anyway, in-group, out-group bias. I started this on Juneteenth, trying to just... This isn't about information. I don't know more... I could look at some information and present it. That's great. We have more information than ever. We have no critical thinking. We have no perspective. People need perspective, and that's why I started with a video about Juneteenth. It's still Black History Month, so I keep thinking I haven't really done anything to keep reminding that we are the best example of the in-group, out-group bias ever, because it stood up into the modern age. And now, look, all this stuff around me, I am more competent and independent than my family members, and well, but most especially the people who will go after trashing me. They really try to make it seem like I'm inferior in some such way. That's called being a Nazi. That's called I will fixate on the plank, on the sliver in my neighbor's eye and ignore the plank in mine. I will cruelly fault who I can and count them cruel when I do it. I will count them defective. I will count them the source of the dysfunction that I'm creating. That's a fucking Nazi. And all you do is you do the bidding of the authoritarian state. So this doesn't need to be a long video. I think I've said some of the same things, But the narrative is fake. We know it's fake. Try to call me a conspiracy theorist. Try to have a discussion with me. You can't discuss this stuff. Where can I engage? I can foresee a kind of contingent point of negotiation once there is probably established something. I sometimes wonder if the 144,000 who reign over the world might just be, kings, probably mostly kings, maybe some queens, over states the size of Kansas or Oklahoma or Missouri or some of these regular states. I wonder if 144,000 times the square root, or not the square root, the area of Iowa, I wonder if that could equal the area of the world. 144,000? If you had 144,000 rulers, how big is each state if they were all equal? I don't know that the map would be redrawn. Why would we want to throw out all the culture and stuff? We don't want to do that, right? But we've perverted my American culture. And if I'm a real American citizen and I've not got any contracts or obligations, and it's important enough that I at least establish the narrative is going to probably leave us with something that won't have room for a guy saying, this is a false narrative. They're going to say it forever, but probably that I'm a conspiracy theorist. But I worked in narrative. And I've been watching this country through, I've, informed myself of the history and going off the gold standard and how we've inflated the currency, how all of this has happened with a lot of culture changes in my own lifetime. It's become completely superficial. Oh, what I was going to say is I can't make none of this shit around me. Like, my mom can sew, I can write. Better than the JA people. You guys, you can't inherit influence like that. You can't be born into that and just, well, I got an uncle, so I guess I'll get a book award or whatever. And that's no slight at someone who I know who I actually value and appreciate. See, I don't care if you're Illuminati or Freemason or a Jesuit or a Rosicrucian or whatever the hell else there is. I won't respect you if you're a Nazi, but you won't. The real Nazis aren't going to call themselves that, you see. They're going to create these Nazis that we'll all be against. There's also the cartel. That's a handy scapegoat too. You can really grow a police state on a threat like that. So that's what we're looking at. We've seen it before. People view the world as fixed. They don't have an education in critical thinking. I'm not trying to sound like I'm smart. I'm just saying, because I'm not into regurgitation. That's why Elon Musk would probably beat me in trivia. But he can't write a fucking essay. Also, he's just a regurgitator. There's so many of them. Should I name the fucking Nazis? Because I accidentally went into the 50 Cent territory. And that was the guy who probably should have signed me as a rapper. That would make logical sense to me. If you don't have the vision, you don't have the vision. But I started realizing those guys, Eminem too. Eminem says, time to choose between me and Trump. You gotta pick a side. And there's other people saying this. Yeah, you're fanning the flames. You're a fucking tool. So fuck Eminem and Donald Trump. Even though, I remind you, I want to that's our great American rapper. That's one of our modern presidents who might go down as great. I mean, I'm kind of mad at the situation being so determinedly false. And then any truth that I can offer, you can just use it to basically prepare for, what if someone challenges all the falsehoods we keep pushing on them? Maybe instead you should try to actually, the advantages that the people on the top have now, you don't need to play dirty. We're not organized as a mass of people. You have the control. You're calling yourselves an oligarchy now. I want to like Biden. I want to like Obama. I want to like Bush. I hate Romney and Hillary. I've liked all these presidents. I mean, not like what they do. I pick my things that I hate and some things that I want to say redeem the presidency that I'm proud. I want to be proud of my rappers. They're all fucking. I mentioned even that irrelevant, insignificant guy, Andrew Schultz, who's not that lovable, who I would actually have some really constructive criticism for him. I'll actually share it. He needs to be more Steve Harvey, masculine comedian. He's not a lovable fool. No one likes you. You seem too capable and smart a man to act a fool and be loved. You're not Gilbert Gottfried, and you're not Norm Macdonald. You're not one of them. You're not Theo Von, who I do like that guy. Fucking Nazi, probably. He probably don't know. 50 Cent probably don't know. I think Kanye knows what he... Kanye blames the Jews because he's seeing whatever he sees from his limited scope. Because I don't know nothing about the music industry or nothing. I don't really care about that part, I like the product. But he's pointing a finger at the Jews. Kanye. He's been a bad influence on the black people, in my opinion. Because there seems to be this anti-Semitic rhetoric from certain, like, black celebrities. And white-ass motherfuckers, too. But, I mean, where did that come from? We don't know anything. I will stick up for America not knowing anything about what Judaism is. We're too ignorant. We're all in our own thing, and the Jews especially stay to themselves. I know that. They stick up for each other. They probably keep their money within families. That's smart American... Those are good Americans. America doesn't dislike that. We like those... We like to see people make it, man. We love 50 Cent. We ain't Nazis in this country. And so when there's a brotherhood of white-ass motherfuckers marching around with their swastikas, which they know that's not gonna... They know that it's going to draw enmity. I always want to go enmity and say the M before the N, but it's E-N-M. I've had to retrain myself. But they want to provoke enmity among the people, and then our Nazi resistance is going to be the actual Nazism, because it will be the privileged in-group, that each trying to claim their own belonging, because like I was saying, I can't make none of this shit. You're in the fucking wilderness. My dad's a welder, was for all those years, and many other things. Who's gonna give you the weld? You need people to mine the metal material, the ore, whatever. We all depend on each other. So, I don't know, that's the most... People who really claim a lot of security and strength by stability, it's kind of the positive connotation for being sheltered. You're just going to avoid challenges in life. They become bitter. They lack life experience. And the people who are vulnerable to their bitterness are the people who went and got some life experience. They yield to others. They adjust to others. They kind of don't have it in their mind. Go ask a homeless person if there's anything you can do for them. And, they're not... they don't even think of things besides, like, I could use, like, a bottle of water. I could use a sandwich or socks or something. They don't think much beyond that. They're not thinking, like... They're not angling for luxury. They don't want your luxury. They want to have enough. They don't want to be in the fucking wilderness, man. So nobody's been in the wilderness. You're all too proud to push each other into the fucking wilderness and call yourselves more fit comparatively by looking to each other and justifying that you did it to that less fit person who doesn't have all the privileges that you and your privileged fucking spoiled fucking Nazi motherfucking in-group will have had in that situation. Anyway, have I left out anything key? They're going to stand up the modern one world system, and it'll be a global in-group, out-group situation. It'll start here with a Nazi identity, and people all over the world will be taking sides on this, and then they'll stand up their global system. Or what we might get, we're going to end up in a communist situation. Barron Trump is going to get a tattoo to rebel against his tyrannical father. There's a spoiler for you. He's going to get himself a tattoo, and it'll be the mark of the beast. We won't get the chip. Thank God. Things like that are supposed to scare us. Grasshopper paste in the communist situation, that's supposed to scare you. If the communist situation is like what I got, I somehow landed in the communist utopia here. I'm living Thomas More's fucking dream. I can't remember Utopia. I did read it, but I can't remember it. It was a long time ago. Isn't he a Jesuit? Yeah, I believe he is. Okay, so I didn't really want to. I'm not trying to identify myself as anti-Jesuit. I'm anti anything that is anti-American. I'm against anti-Americanism. And I'm not a nationalist. Well, I guess I am. Fine, call it a bad thing. But know what that ain't? It ain't racism. It ain't bigotry. Not if this is your country. So I made that point already too. I feel like I didn't sum this up quite succinctly as I want, but the in-group, out-group thing, it's been used forever. Okay? Okay, it's being done again, and all we need to do is create more poor people. I live in this city that's there's the homeless shelter. Right over here this way is downtown, and everything is way too fucking expensive unless you're employed, because now, I don't know, let's raise minimum wage. We haven't done, this isn't exactly what has happened, but over time, if you exaggerate the point, it is like, okay, $20 an hour is the new minimum wage. Just say that's what it is. All these prices are going up. If anybody's paying anybody, that's the effect of being in the in-group. Meanwhile, what used to be $1 for a sandwich, who says that doesn't become $10? And now you're a fucking loser because you can't even afford this, can't even afford that. Dude, you can't afford nothing either. Especially if I go into your workplace, I know that there are specialists and people who are trained and experienced. But if we're talking about all these many jobs in which we can be kind of plugged in, because that's the way Taylorism or scientific management theory intended for it to be, that you could just, people are replaceable, disposable. We need to bring back the craftsmen. So that's what needs to happen. Or the herd mentality will take us all down. We're gonna, the leaders, they are only the best at the herd mentality. They're not real leaders. They're just cutting down the people that they're afraid are strong. Loyalty over merit. That's what's going on. That's authoritarianism. Will you be loyal or will you be skilled? If you're skilled, you're a threat. If you're loyal, you're not skilled. You can't tell the truth if you're a loyalist. Look at Eminem. You think that's a truth teller? No, that's do what you're supposed to do if you're gonna stay with Interscope. You got all this from us, now you have to say this shit. You don't know nothing about politics anyway. You don't. But that's okay. But that's why we need them to speak honestly. We need more people like that to speak. But you have to be able to say something other than against this person. That can't be it. What are your ideas? You don't have none, man. You're only trying to achieve the result of pitting people against each other. So fuck you, Nazi piece of shit. You discouraged me, you know? I wanted to be of service. I trained myself up. I got enemies above me and enemies beneath me. And you're all blind idiots. You're all hypocrites. It's really depressing. Ooh, Elon Musk. Ooh, I have such a storm of ideas in my head. No one would want to be me. I realize no one else has that going on. Hey, motherfucker, if you were really tortured in your intellect, you wouldn't be a businessman, you'd be a fucking poet. I'll reiterate this point to drive it home. This is just a collection of points now. In the every human being is the need to nurture in us the inner comedian, the inner philosopher, and the inner poet. If you don't, and you're externally focused like a I ain't gonna say shit about reptile people. I was about to say that shit about Elon Musk. Elon Musk and Joe Rogan like to eat anchovy and pineapple pizza. These motherfuckers are really reptiles. How obvious was it? I was trying to say it's a Nazi coup, trying to move into the White House. And in the beginning, you could have said that they were crying wolf. See, I saw that already starting during the first Trump presidency. I did vote. I did not vote for him then. Did vote against Biden for Trump to take the White House. Because then they weren't running on outgrouping the immigrants and the Jews and and I'm missing one of their target populations. Whatever. I think everybody's an enemy under this situation. Most of all, if you recognize that the narrative is bullshit. Well, where does that leave us? So anyway, I needed to finish the point. If you're only outcome oriented, all of that your inner comedian becomes a salesman. Your philosopher, you lose your philosophical ability because you're trying to extract the gains that a lawyer goes after. Philosopher becomes the lawyer. The poet, corrupted in their gifts, becomes a politician, playing on people's heartstrings, spinning false narratives, doing blatantly obvious Roman salute, you're going to call it. That don't make it no better, because now you're fitting exactly what I already saw happening, which is you're going to set up a Roman system and a global Nazi fucking organization. It don't have nothing to do with ostracizing the Jews. There's something to that in crying wolf about the Jews. It's like misdirection or confusion, or maybe to create the enemy that we're supposed to have in these Nazis. We need to actually have some anti-Semitism so we can believe that Americans are Nazis. Americans are hungry. Americans want affordable eggs. Give some chickens to the people. This is unacceptable. There's so much unacceptable shit. You're going to benefit from famine and war since the beginning of history. You're in a position where you can finally afford to not do it and still maintain all your power. You can stand up these other countries into the modern world without having to ostracize populations of people just because you'd rather own them in your institutions. You want to take ownership of them. There are more and more homeless people, and this has been going on for years. More and more homeless people. I stayed at this shelter, and you should see how they act in there. That woman, they're trying to kick people out. They're like, it's in the interest. It's a bureaucracy. I told you about Will, right? All he did was wear his slippers into the bathroom at night. He went to the bathroom at night wearing his slippers instead of shoes. Kicked him out. A loud, young, vibrant black man. And a good guy. Just because he was like, loud and proud from Chicago, basically. Bitch is gonna get intimidated, pick him out, make him out to be a bad guy. I wonder what happened to him. I wonder if he's alright. I wonder, then you're out there, and now what? Now do you end up arrested just because you're out there? That happens. They're outlawing homelessness. People don't know. Okay, and then I have petty-ass motherfuckers in my life. This is the shit that I've been interested in. This is the shit that I am concerned about, and have been concerned about, and have been writing about, besides my own life, in which case, some motherfuckers shouldn't have pushed their way into my life. I can change your name. I can make it into a fiction. I think I have people who tried to trash me who might be afraid of what I'm able to say because of it. They have to use false things to try to trash me. Kind of like, and I can use the real things to trash them. And that is the situation that I find myself in with the enemies above me too. Enemies above me, enemies below me. You gotta lie about us. You gotta lie and call white people, I guess we're gonna say it's white people, but it ain't gonna be white people. It'll just be privileged people. But I guess that's who we imagine are the Nazis, right? That's slander from a professor at a Jesuit university. That's slander. You're slandering the population. They have no interest in going this way that they're getting pushed. Even if you can get one person in the crowd cheering some heinous fucking thing. Fix bayonets. Did he start cheering that, Bannon? Did he? Did he chant it? I don't think he chanted it. That's a sick thing to say. I'm glad I never had to fix bayonets in the military. We're supposed to be past that, man. So there are those on top who want to keep us there forever. They wanted a civil war. Trump, Fauci, they're all the same camp. Rogan, Peterson, the fucking Canadian. This is going to spill outside of our borders to influence the rest of the world. Meanwhile, while you can slander my population, I can't call you what the fuck you really are, which is the real actual Nazis, the sinister influence that funded Hitler's Third Reich. Church has a lot to answer for. So how long do you think you can keep shitting in the pool before we're in just this big giant pool of shit? What I'm saying is no one's going to have a nose for the truth anymore. You're going to get rid of whoever does. Barron's going to need a good influence. You can give him to me. I'll fucking have him smoking crack with Hunter Biden in no time. Bullshit narrative, the oligarchy, what do I say to them? Like, you need to have a real line of communication for people who want to point out actual problems. You think that AI isn't going to possibly destroy the world? There's climate issues. We got a lot of things that we ain't looking good on. The AI thing it's like we're playing chicken, you know? Because we can't just shut down all our computers and leave Russia or China at the forefront of the tech world, right? So we all keep pushing this thing a little further. And I don't think you guys who are benefiting from the lies, I don't think you care enough to unpack the lies. I am disturbed 24/7 about my personal situation. It's made me into a great writer. And I'm also really disturbed about the global situation. My nation first, though. America first. See, fuck Eminem and fuck Donald Trump. Maybe that's what the title of the video should be. You know, guys like that in the music industry, they see guys like me coming. He probably already got diss tracks written and stuff. They don't want to see... He don't like any other white rapper. Except now that it's acceptable to be a white rapper. So Jelly Roll, who else has... I hate where I am because they only listen to white rappers for the longest time. Maybe it's a little less like that now. But seriously, the radio stations... And I hate the rap rock. I hate Imagine Dragons. I can actually name pretty much everybody except Rage Against the Machine and the Beastie Boys. Is that all that I like for rap rock? Run DMC? I mean, I don't really listen to that, you know? I respect it. But alright, whatever. Look, in-group, out-group bias, it's why I started there. It happens everywhere. Mobbing is central to the entire thing. Once you're looking to your other privileged little Nazi little bitches for approval and the cruelty that you do to someone else, laughing at them, their status, their situation, defending the system that you're benefiting from, that is afflicting these other people, I'm just watching the train gonna fucking crash into the mountain here. I mean, I can't seem to drag it down. I can't seem to get on the brake lever. I just want a real narrative, you know? Sure, how about a what the F, just post it kind of attitude from me again. But understand, you know, it's herd mentality all around me. Those above, Robert Greene, Jordan Peterson, 50 Cent. You all want to win by cutting the other guy down. Andrew Schultz. Like, you should matter enough to be on that list with those people. Oh, but he's friends with somebody, so let's have 50 Cent do the show for him. They all do each other's shit. They all support each other. This is how it's always been for them. They all promote each other. And they encourage us to go at each other's throats. This is how it's always been. And I'm the only one who's among my own people who knows or has like a vision for where the narrative will go. People see things in such fixed terms. I just don't have the ability to get across. I'm scared for what it's going to do. But for my own peace of mind, I don't know. I'll have this and I'll say, told you so. I already went over how that is not the outcome that I want. Because I don't want to imagine what this can look like. But if you think about it, when they create these disaster situations, like the grasshopper paste, okay? That's supposed to scare the fuck out of you, and then you'll be happy when you only get one burger patty and an egg. Oh, at least it's not grasshopper paste. Oh, at least the mark of the beast is a tattoo instead of a chip with the cyanide shot that will kill me. Stop in front of my window. Fuck off. I know it don't seem Christian. Jesus comes back as Kalki probably, you know? There's two white horses. But Jesus and Kalki are both on the white horse wielding the sword of fire, which, or for Kalki it's sword of fire. For Jesus, it's that double-sided sword. For Jesus, that sounds like the truth. For Kalki, it sounds like the cosmos. To me, it sounds like the same damn thing. So, let the wicked fall, if someone has to fall. One final thing, and I know I'm just snapping points together. I was going to keep naming fucking Nazis here. Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, probably Vivek Ramaswamy, probably any motherfucker in the cabinet, probably anybody that Trump is hanging on to. Bannon, fucking Andrew Schultz, 50 Cent is central to this shit, so is Kanye West. Nazi, Nazi, Nazi. Motherfucking Nazis. I don't respect you. It's my job to not. It's my job to not. I'm the real, concerned citizen that you are pretending to be. And if we actually have the real discussion, we're talking about a fake narrative at this point run by the sinister influence. And that's what it is. And I don't see why you guys, since I'm right, and maybe I'm inferring a little beyond the most solid ground, but if we look at your MO and focus on your MO, you're nothing but the herd mentality. So it's easy to see in-group, out-group bias, that's coming. Repressed critical thinking, that's been happening. Availability bias, external feedback all around you. You can't get away from it. Even though a lot of the way that we actually can ostracize someone is by saying that they're isolated and don't get enough feedback. So much of the victim blame depends on basically that person's isolated or alienated. You know what's so fucked up? we validate who's validated, we invalidate who's invalidated. So that means when you are using that someone is supposedly alienated, we all don't like that person. I told you that I literally had a job where that's a worker made it a point to say, yeah, we hate that person. Like, it was my first day on the job. He's letting me know. He called me over to let me know. He put himself next to another worker who he thought would agree, who did, just nodded along, and said, you know that person? Yeah, we hate them. I go, why would you tell me that? And he's like, so you know. Yeah, it's basically my invitation to hate this person. Well, I didn't really take that invitation, and I basically did eventually become a person hated, but that had to do with a relationship that I was basically trying to get out of from the beginning. But let me close. I got a lot of motherfucking people walking by. But it's a nice day out, and it's been winter, so it's hell out there a lot of times. It sucks. But yeah, okay, so because of the situation I have been in, here's the reason you should hate that person. Because everybody else does. So they're hated. How did this go? It's complete circular reasoning. You should alienate them because... How did that go? You should alienate the isolated person so you can fit in, I guess. But why should you alienate them? Because they're alienated. And then once you actually do effectively alienate them, because maybe they're not at first. Yeah, we all hate that person. Okay, you're trying to invite me to hate that person with you. Well, now, let's say I take the invitation and we actually try to alienate that person. They actually become alienated. See? Hence, you should hate them. But they weren't that in the beginning. The mob. Fucking stupid. Everything's fixed. There's no cause and effect. People live like dogs. It's really been a different kind of day for me. And I am kind of re-straightening myself out again. I've been doing this for many months now. Lapsing into a certain lifestyle and then correcting myself. I thank you, God, for my freedom and your patience. Thank you for God's patience. May the Lord rebuke those who dishonor the truth. May those who honor the truth be honored by the truth. May those who dishonor the truth be dishonored by the truth. May the truth prevail. Please, God, for the every person and for the every people, the peoples, types of peoples, down to the individual, if only we can ensure no one's just going to get away with running a narrative on your ass, nor a population. Which means that you need to teach people to actually represent themselves, you know? If you're Elon Musk or Donald Trump, you're way the fuck up here. You can't afford to be a bigger person. Maybe you don't like that other tower stands as tall as yours. Disgusting. You're going to weaken the herd. If the... What do they call it? A harem? The zebra... The male fucking alpha zebra, they'll try to kill the calves. But really, it's like the young male calf who's actually going to become a capable member of the herd. Let's bite them apart and try to drown that motherfucking young zebra and make sure that we only have a weaker herd. That's what you guys do. So you know that you do. And do you want to keep teaching your sons to act like that? Because I tell you, you don't have yourself this connection on the same level of the real ones who do nurture your work can end up on the shelf. You can get references and support each other, and you dilute the market with poorer quality work. I know you get the best education money can buy, but that really has you insisting that you're smart for that. Your degree ain't gonna do your thinking for you. But you don't then you who practice at this outcome-oriented Machiavellian outlook, release your children from it. Give Baron a pen pal at the fucking shelter here. Seriously, Baron or whoever needs to see that and be around those people. Until you've needed to go to the Walmart or the dollar store or the laundromat, you privileged motherfuckers don't go to the laundromat, but go in there and yeah, maybe you're gonna want to go to the nice one on the nice side of town or some shit like that. Go where regular people are, and you'll be disgusted by them because you haven't been among them. Yeah. It's sad. But anyway, yeah, you don't nerd. Why can't I think of the comedian, the fucking philosopher, and the poet? You got to be that first. Those of you who sell out to corrupt your comedian and orient around the mindset of the salesman or your philosopher, be diminished in their understanding or their points or their perspective, so that they can more effectively argue rhetoric legally to achieve material outcomes and to corrupt the quality of a poet and insist that they should manipulate populations of people, the hearts and minds of the people. You're not fit to lead. You're a weak herd animal, and you're asking the people beneath you to be weak herd animals too. You want them cutting each other down. Eventually, I think that the infighting could find you guys up there. Your women are probably going to turn on you. You know they become especially cutthroat when resources are abundant. Isn't that so fucked up? Now that there's enough for everybody, they're going to claim their power by cutting all the other bitches out, or the men, whatever. They're going to start scheming on people. But as soon as there's very little, well, now let me be an authoritarian idiot, because yeah, females are basically the authoritarian class of fools. Once you can build a collection of women, you're going to start collecting all these beta males. You're going to have your class of hyenas, your hyena population. These weak little fucking beta males want to play white knight and shit like that. Be around these dumb, crazy fucking bitches who are all about the chance to sell out their other person if only they have the chance to do it. Especially when resources are limited, it's about, oh, well, this is what's right and that's what's right, and I'm going to make sure everybody has enough. That sounds like you're being a good guy, but it's still about power, isn't it? It's still about who gets to say who gets what. But then as soon as the resources are abundant, yeah, let's see your real colors come out. Do you give a fuck if people have enough? No. You're going to become all cutthroat about that shit. So, yeah, I believe that there could be man to woman issues. Probably, yeah. You're going to have a bunch of beta males rule us? See if their women don't. I mean, you want women to go crazy for intellectuals? Why can't you guys be content to read the stuff, present it? You know, if fucking Jordan Peterson is Zazu, I'm Rafiki, you know? And I want the good king and the good kingdom too. I want it for the sake of not hurting the human experience. Imagine people just don't know what they're capable of, and they only have so much, and then there's this class of people who just really like it that way because they own all the resources in a communist system. Oh no, the people own it. Okay, who's giving you your shit? This isn't well put together, but I don't care. I've reiterated things that are important to reiterate. And these things are just constantly, because I have not gotten these things that I swear need to be received, I haven't gotten them received. Oh, I guess that someone who's a real true intellectual can just go and regurgitate my points. So I kind of know that can happen, but I think that would be good. I don't want hell on earth. I'm trying to actually fix the problems. You're trying to benefit from them. Let it be over with. Let the propaganda be over with. Nazi salute on purpose. Oh, as my heart goes out to you. And then you called it a Roman salute. So which one is it? Both? It's the Roman my heart goes out to you salute. You're so full of shit. And it is triggering to anyone who cares about the truth. And if you're going to ask me to be compliant and pleased to see that happen and get in line where you want me to, you're just asking me to not be able to understand what's true. And you think that's going to benefit you because you want to know something. If you're looking downward, this is the ants running in a circle. If you're only going to follow the nobodies like me at the back of the line, you're supposed to be in the front, and you're seeing, oh, these ideas, our ideas are getting stripped from us and stuff, and then they get given to people who pretty much insist that I'm this and I'm that. They're not even worried about presenting points about the world that we're in. It's about, but I'm this. Oh, but hopefully people repeat the right ideas. Like Jordan Peterson was talking forever about how you motivate people against an out-group, and he was always pointing to disgust. I knew from my experience that amusement had to be added. So when was I on that? 2022? So yeah, eventually he's repeating that point. He's an original thinking guy. He does the reading. I need him. You think I want to read all those fucking studies? I want to know the factual, in trauma, was it the amygdala swells and the hippocampus shrinks? Am I mistaken? See, shit like that, if that's really the truth, I need to get that. I need to be able to get at that. See what I did with the amygdala and the effects of the lying? That makes a Nazi. Oh shit, have I only helped them learn how to make Nazis? You idiots. My leaders are fucking retards. I got no heroes. Fuck Eminem and fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Eminem and fuck Donald Trump. How about that? Fuck whatever you think is cool. Fuck whatever you think is right.